You're live.
Okay. This is Revolutionary Healing with Nia Ridjo, LCSW. I am excited to be here. This is my first Facebook Live, and I'm just full of a lot of emotions. But I am here with Sandra Books. She is a powerhouse in addition to being a coach and a really heavily community active figure in San Jose. Sandra, did you want to add a little bit to your bio? I just kind of briefly said a little bit, but you do a lot of things.
Thank you, Nia. Hi, everybody. I'm Chandra Brooks, founder of the Powerhouse Academy, community leader, former commissioner. Wrote a book called Black, Brown, and Political, Get Informed, Get Empowered, and Change the Game. Several things, but the most recent thing is being an entrepreneur, starting my own business, and starting the Powerhouse Academy movement. So Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited. And then we have next up Liku Madoshi, and she is an attorney and also the owner of Tribe. I know Liku from, she's also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, New Lambda chapter. So I know her professionally and personally. I'm just really grateful to have her here. So Liku, do you want to add a little bit to your introduction?
Sure. Like Nia said, my name is Liku, born and raised in the Bay. I've been an attorney for going on 3 years next month, and I'm currently practicing employment litigation where we defend employers or entrepreneurs or simply just give people advice in how they're trying to take their business, especially in times with COVID right now where everything is changing. As Nia also mentioned, I'm the founder of Tribe, which is a Bay Area-based community for Black women to come together, network, and find ways that they can be a resource to one another. And there's a huge component on mental health. The way we execute this mission and our purpose is through monthly events that allow us to convene and connect. So thank you for having me here, Nia.
Yes, thank you guys all for being here. I'm so excited to be here on so many different levels. One, I just love the fact that we're all bosses in our own right? That not only were we able to be pivotal in our community, but also create brands for our own self, by ourselves with our own visions and be able to manifest that through business and entrepreneurship. So I'm just really grateful to even be on this platform, to even be having this conversation with you guys. And I think it's going to add a lot of value to anyone who watches it today, either personally or professionally.
So Nia, really quick, before we get started, can you take this? Do you see the StreamYard? Do you see that on the screen? The little duck thing? Do you see the banners or something you can take off for an X to try to get that off the screen for you?
Live view comments show. Is that what you guys see?
Do you see banner on the right? Banners? Where it says, where it has comment banners. Click on banners. And then create one, hit the plus and put Revolutionary Healing.
You guys see that?
Yeah, but you gotta put something in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it letting you type it?
Yeah.
Bear with us, everybody. We're gonna get situated. We just want to make sure that the screen doesn't cover anything while we're talking.
Is that great? It should say it's on there.
Click plus. You hit the plus sign. Like
I said show. I said show it.
There you go.
All right, cool.
There you go. Okay.
Yay. We're here. It's cool.
Yeah.
Y'all new to this. So so I'm just excited to be here. I just want to jump into the conversation. And the first question is, what really inspired you guys to get into female entrepreneurship?
Liku, you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. I didn't mean to get into entrepreneurship, to be honest. I had just started my first job and I was the only Black woman, Black person in my firm. there was an intern there, another Black woman, for the first few months that I started. And it was really helpful having her there, being able to connect with her, having her show me the ropes without me feeling like I was going to go to someone else and ask a dumb question, or that I couldn't ask a question. Whenever something frustrating happened or I just didn't know something, I would always go to her. And when she left, I realized how much not having another Black woman in the professional setting affected me, because I started to stay in more. I didn't want to say anything that might be considered offensive or again sound stupid or wrong or ask a dumb question. There were a lot of microaggressions that frustrated me, and I couldn't go down the hall to her office to talk to her. So ultimately, it just resulted in a lot of stress and a lot of emotional turmoil and emotional fatigue. And one day I was just like, I need something where, I can be fulfilled, that I'm not getting at work. And so I know outside of the legal profession, other women feel this way as well, even some who do work with other Black women. But I wanted to create a space where we could come together and, number one, talk about things that are unique to Black women, because there are things that we go through that we have to suppress or can't talk about or don't know to talk about or don't even recognize, that affect us on our daily lives, professional and personal setting. And I also just wanted to create a network to strengthen our community out here. Black women getting together is an amazing energy, the genuine want to help somebody. Like, oh, you're a caterer. My cousin, she's getting married. She needs a caterer. So and so is a photographer. I need photos for my website. I know a therapist if you're looking for some help. Like, we can just help each other make those connections, keep that dollar circulating among us, and be unstoppable, essentially. So I'm really trying to curate that energy. And it has served me in a professional sense as well, because I have something else to look forward to. So.
Yeah, that's a whole mission and a purpose in itself. It's just that level of connectedness that you've created just out of, the things that you wish that you never had. And I think that's the really key points to hit on around, just the evolution of entrepreneurship and people being dependent on systems to basically fit their needs. And one thing that I've learned just throughout my entrepreneurship journey is if it's not created, then it's a need. And so, and not to be dependent on other people to fill those needs for you, especially if you have the ability to do it yourself. So I just want to commend you for stepping up, and being that the answer to that gray area and that loophole, because it's a lot of loopholes that a lot of people of color recognize, and we can only be the ones that recognize that because we're the only ones with that lens, especially, because we come from places where in areas we are disadvantaged, right? And so that's why I think the value of just having a minority in a lot of workspaces it are very key and important. So for anybody who is working at a 9 to 5 right now, and they have found areas at their job and they feel like they can improve that area of expertise, or maybe you have a gift or a talent for just noticing different things that you feel like you wish that you had or your children had. I think that let that be a key indicator that's some motivation of where you could really manifest your vision and your dream. And it starts with that desire to want to be that missing link. So thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate that. So Chandra, I'm going to pose the same question. What motivated you to get into female entrepreneurship?
Well, very similar. I've been on commissions. I've been on the Commission on Status of Women for Santa Clara County. I've been on the board for the Women's March for the Silicon Valley, and just sitting on several leadership roles, being a leader in the community, being in top level positions in organizations, and being frustrated with certain things that in leadership and in camaraderie with women and coming together and battling and competition and all these crazy things going on, where I was like, I'm going to stop complaining and being frustrated with this, and I'm going to start my own movement. I'm going to start my own business. Something that's been sitting in my belly for about 10-15 years. I'm going to finally do it. And I did it. That's kind of what pushed me, because I've always had like an entrepreneur spirit inside of me. I just never took action. It was always there. We have ideas. but we get stuck living in our zone. I call it our zone of excellence, right? We live in our zone of excellence in positions that we do well, right? And we do good, but we're not living in our zone of genius. And our zone of genius is our purpose, right? It's really what we should be doing. And really that's in our gut telling us to do, but we don't go and do it. Because we're in our comfort zone, in that zone of excellence that might pay well, right? It pays us really good, and it's consistent, it's comfortable, all these things, and we don't take action. So I decided to take action finally, and I wrote my book, started my business, and that's why I was like, let me stop complaining about it and let me be about it. Let me finally do the thing that I wanted to do and do it my way. And now I created a movement of women that are supportive of each other, that have each other's back, that are collaborating, that are making money together, that are, working together, that, it's just a sisterhood.
Right.
So, I did it the way I wanted to do it. And I think a lot of people are scared to do that, right? To take action on their vision and on really what they're meant to do. And thank God I've been able to find my purpose in it, really, and be able to grow it to where it is today.
And that's an amazing movement, to even start partaking in, and to create that for yourself and for other women. You found a need, and not only did you just think of, okay, what does Chandra need? You said, what does the community need? And then, you wanted to even specialize it to female entrepreneurship and really creating a movement, within that entity. So I wanted to talk to you about, like, when you consider movements, what's the difference between a movement and starting, say, a venture, a business venture? What would you solidify a movement as?
Well, with me, and with the Powerhouse Academy, it turned into a movement, right? I didn't wake up one day and say I wanted to start a movement, right? When I started my business, I just said, I want to start a business and I want to create a program where I teach women how to start businesses and do the things that I want to do, like a social focused business. And so it evolved to that. It evolved into a movement because I would go out in the community, or other powerhouses would go out and they'd be like, oh, you're part of Powerhouse Academy. Oh, she's Powerhouse Academy. She's Powerhouse Academy. And people started to tell me, and people would reach out and say, Chandra, this is a movement. Like, I didn't even claim it to be that. It just turned into it. So I think it evolved to that, Nia. It didn't even really, it wasn't even something planned, which I'm super grateful for. But I'm also very highly aware that it's because of what I created, a very comfortable, safe space of support, right? Of accountability, that I will kick you out real quick if you, I will kick you out of the Powerhouse Academy if you start tripping, and if we have any problems, you will be eliminated from the Powerhouse Academy. You can't pretend that you're running a business. You can't act like it. You got to be doing it, and you got to be taking action. So we take it very seriously. And it's just turned into something that I never even imagined it would turn into.
Yeah, I mean, AKA that's real boss talk. Like, I think that when you first get into the entrepreneurship, I call it the game. It's just what I see it as, because it is kind of a game. It's like, kind of like Monopoly a little bit, and it really tests, your tendencies. Like, I think, even when I started my entrepreneur journey, in therapy, the whole trajectory is small business minded. It's really private practice. You have your set clients, and that's really what motivated me and made me want to get into therapy, is the fact that, one, I love helping people, and two, like, I love to be able to set my own schedule and then be able to, be there for my kids. But when I got into the therapeutic practice scene, I realized, like, you make money, but you don't build legacy. Right. And for me, that was a game changer, because when I first got involved, I didn't realize the difference between living and legacy. I didn't understand that those were key wisdom nuggets that, I wasn't introduced to until I met the right people with different mindsets. Right. And that was a real big game changer. And I was very interested, right? I was very interested in it. And so I think that's really key. You know, when if you're a person and you're watching this and you're thinking about getting into, you know, becoming an entrepreneur, one of the things is that everybody feels like they have a solution to your problem, and they'll put a price on their wisdom and their knowledge, but you really have to check people's vibes out, because there's a lot of people out here making money off of false tendencies and promises.
Yeah.
And everybody falls victim to that at some point in the entrepreneur game. I know I did with a couple of people, but you know, I didn't get in too deep, so I was able to get out and recover, but it was a lesson learned, slap on the wrist, and I kept it moving. So I appreciate you, you know, dropping that, even that truth bomb about like some people get into entrepreneurship and they're not ready, or they're not really in integrity with what they say they're doing, basically. Right. And that's another thing I feel like entrepreneurship does. It makes you be who you say you are.
Yeah, really, honestly, because you start messing with people's money too, right? This is my livelihood. This is my family. You're not going to jeopardize that. You know, I'm not going to allow you, especially when you take your business seriously, like I do. You're not going to jeopardize something I started and something that feeds my family. You will not cross that line.
Right, so, right.
Yeah.
And that's a voice, and that's another thing I got. So that goes into the next question. So when you first started, and I'll start with you, Chandra, and then you can follow up. When you started, first thought, okay, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this business. What was the most intimidating factor from you saying what you're going to do and then starting it?
That and the mindset, right, and the confidence is so important. If you don't have that and you don't build that first, then it's hard to get started, and this is really what prevents a lot of us from just getting started. So it was trying to believing that I can do it, having that imposter syndrome, feeling like I am not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Who am I to teach people how to do A, B, C, and D, right? That's really how I felt, because I wrote my book first. So I wrote my book on politics, and I was like, I'm not a politician, and I'm not a political expert. I didn't graduate with a political science degree. So I was thinking of all those things. I was like, all these doubts. But what I did know, that I was involved in local politics, and I seen the importance of people of color getting involved in politics, and I seen it from a community member lens. And I wanted to educate the Black and brown communities to understand the importance of us getting involved. So I said, I had to convince myself, and I also had to have a coach to help me and push me kind of off the ledge to do it, because I would sit in front of my laptop for like 6 months and I wasn't writing anything until she had to remind me, Chandra, read your bio, look everything that you've done in the community, look at everybody you're connected to and you're involved in. Of course you could write a book like that. You're not saying you're an expert, you're just giving your perspective. So I had to do that, and I'm so glad I did, because then everybody's like, oh my God, this is great. And other people ran for office after they read my book. So, awesome. What if I didn't write it, right? So so I felt completely like an imposter, right? And you're going to have those feelings. Those are going to be natural feelings. And you're going to feel like you don't have the credentials to do something, or who am I to teach anybody? And that was the hardest part, Nia, getting through that hurdle. And that's why it's so important for me to use that in Powerhouse Academy and in what I teach, because I know the importance of having that first before you can even move forward, even, to take it to a whole nother level in your business and really have a real business. You have to build your confidence and your mindset first before you move forward. So that's kind of was my barrier in the beginning.
Yeah, that's key information too for people to know. What about you, Liku? What was the biggest fear you have from actually having an idea and you implemented it? I remember you calling me and telling me about it. I was like, that is so dope. Like, do it. I'll push you off the ledge if I need to.
Good to have friends like that.
What was the game changer for you?
I was thinking about this question when you sent them via email, and I don't think, like, there was nothing that I was afraid of or intimidated in starting Tribe. Like, once the idea came to my head, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna call it this. I need a domain. I'm gonna establish the LLC, and then luckily, or have it, God, whoever, everything aligned. I had some time off that I took from work because I was just tired, and I just booked a random hotel like 20 miles away, and I just wanted to chill. So I used that time, like I was doing research, and I contacted somebody to build a website and what I wanted on the website, set up the date for the photo shoot, reached out to people whose energy, including you, that I thought could capture what I was trying to do. Like, I was just going, and I've never done that before. I've never done that before, but there was really nothing like stopping me. Like, yeah, I was nervous for like, the launch events and, people are coming, but on the real, I was just like, okay, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do a next event in October. We're going to do the next event in November. Like, and I don't feel cocky about it. I just know, like, this is something that I need to manifest. And
Right.
like, I've never taken action on something like that ever. But, like you mentioned in our little pre-chat, when it comes to charging people for what I am offering, I think that is, what I've kind of butted heads with. Like, this is something that I need, and I know other people need it as well. And I just want to come together and kumbaya. And, I'm not really, maybe because I was an accidental entrepreneur is what I call it. Like, I'm not grappling with the fact that I am providing a value and a service in a community. And so I'm very slowly, talking about evolution, learning about that and still trying to come to terms with it. But yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think when you naturally have a servant heart, right? And I think that for me sometimes too, I hit that road too. But it's kind of like Chandra said, I want to make my passion, my purpose, and my income. That's the best of both worlds. And so, as much as I want to do for people, and I do, and I still give back, and I still do, speeches. I offer, like right now, if you really having a hard time and you really need just like a mental health check-in, like people just hit me up, and I'm a support for them, right? But it just, I think the game changer for me was really me sitting down with myself and saying, what do you want to do and what's stopping you? And for me, it was just the innovative piece. I was afraid that because nobody else was doing it, that I wanted so bad to have a blueprint of how to do it. I wanted a model to find, to live by and to ascribe by. I wanted somebody to follow. But for me, that's just really been my evolution in my entrepreneurship is really just me owning the fact that I am a cycle breaker, and on top of that, by me breaking out of that cycle, I realized I was a natural leader. And so those are two phases that I think I've evolved in, and just in this season, people are watching that manifest. And I was just sharing on my Facebook page that I had my first virtual staff meeting, and it was like, Anita, what do you want? And what do you think this is? And it was just like, coming from a place of, well, no one listened to me and I really didn't have a voice, now to being the one that makes the decisions and needing to step in. That it was a complete transition for me. And I'm just like really grateful to be here, because a lot of interpersonal work had to go into my confidence being built, in order to be a person who has a business, who I had to make the decisions to tell people what to do. And I was sharing this, like, people want to be told what to do because they want to be good at what they do. And if you can't tell them what to do, then they can't be good at what the service that they're providing. You guys do something. And so that actually leads into the next question is, and I'll start with you, Chandra, like what inspires you to keep going? Okay, so you started your movement, you started your business that then manifested into a movement, and now you have the Powerhouse Academy. And just in our personal conversations with each other, you're like, and I'm going to have more. And this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. Yeah.
What motivates you to just keep going?
What motivates me to keep going is the results, right? The results that are coming out of all the women that are graduating and coming through the Powerhouse Academy, and seeing them win, right? Seeing them grow their businesses and win consulting contracts and speaking opportunities and leaving their full-time jobs for full-time entrepreneurship, that keeps me going. That keeps me going because that, like I said earlier about evolution, your confidence is an evolution too. And believing in your business is an evolution, because then you start believing, right? As I continue to take action and not be scared about charging. So just like Liku was talking about, the evolution of my pricing for Powerhouse Academy is crazy too, is that, I didn't want to charge a whole lot of money. And my coach was like, no, you need to charge this much. And I was like, oh no, I don't feel good about charging that. And it just kept getting, I kept increasing it as the cohorts kept going. But what keeps me going is the results and the lives that are changed, because it's not only the women, it's the families. And it's also the ripple effect of the businesses that they're starting that's changing the lives of their clients. So that keeps me going, because it's the motivation, because you see it. But the only reason why it keeps me going is because I took action, and I took imperfect action, right? I took crazy action. I took ignorant action. I didn't know what was happening, but I felt it in my gut and I kept going. So that's so important for us to take action and just see. It's either going to be a lesson or a blessing, right? And I kept going, and I made a whole lot of mistakes to get to where it is now.
That is so true. A lesson or a blessing. I think I haven't took a loss since 2007 when I came up with that philosophy. I'm so serious, because it was like, once you get in a place where you're either going to figure out the hard way or the right way, it doesn't matter. You're going to figure it out. And so just having that level of just like relentlessness, and your pursuit for your calling and really making a mark here while you're here. That level of ignorance you're talking about, oh my God. Sometimes I wish I didn't know what I knew so I can go into things blindly, right? Because I remember like just things I went into blindly and just super ignorant about. Like sometimes I'm like, ooh, did I do that? But then sometimes I'm like, I'm actually happy that I did do that, because had I known the socialization and the etiquette part about it, I wouldn't have been so confident in being ridiculous.
yeah, exactly. And it would never happen, whatever the outcome was. Right.
Right. And that actually is even like how I went in with LinkedIn. I didn't know you had to be invited to somebody's network. I just read people's bios and like, I want to be connected to this person, and I would just connect with them, like read somebody else's bio. I'm like, oh, I like that post. Let me connect to that. And people were like, you're supposed to know somebody that's in that field to know to. I was like, oh, but like even today I have like 17K and now I have made real key
connection.
Most of my networking is through the phone because of that blind ignorance. People,
I've never heard of that rule though. Is that a rule? Like who made that
rule?
At LinkedIn? That's a
LinkedIn bullies. Like I really have who are like, do I know you from somewhere?
That's their rule. Really? I don't follow rules.
Yeah, I have. And I'm like, no, I just met your bio and I just really thought this one lady sent me.
That's what I do. I do the same thing, Nia. So
this lady sent me a whole voice message. I was like, man, she got time.
Oh, she sent you a voice message?
Yeah, a whole voice message.
Oh, to let you know the rules of LinkedIn? She wanted to
let me know the etiquette of LinkedIn. Like, dang, I didn't know. My bad. So, but I mean, some people got time for it. That's how I feel. Got time for it, and she had the time, but I'm out here doing things I ain't never done before. The last thing I'm worried about is etiquette. So I think that one of the things that you mentioned that was a really key nugget for people to hold on to is sometimes blind ignorance and not knowing what you're doing is the key to success. And missing a lot of steps that you probably think you have to take, but you don't.
Right, exactly.
So same thing for you. Why do you keep attaining to reach higher? Because I mean, you're an attorney, and you could have said, and I'm going to stop at being an attorney. But in true excellence, you said no, and I'm going to provide this service, and I'm going to sit for a whole weekend in a hotel doing self-care and research and start a whole movement. So what makes you keep striving to go harder?
Honestly, along the same lines, like it's just the energy that I get back, like confirmation that this isn't just something that I needed. Like, other women need it. When they come up to me and they were like, thank you so much for XYZ and putting this together. Oh, do you need help for the next event? And the feedback and the energy that's generated. And even when it's not coming towards me, just like, even at the launch event, seeing how many people, strangers, Black women, just came and gravitated towards one another after everyone did their introductions and said what they did. And, they weren't afraid to ask for help. And some of those connections, like, still stand today. Some of those girls from the first event back in, that was September, still show up to the Zoom events that we're now doing during this pandemic. Yeah. So I think it's really the confirmation that, this is needed. It lets me know that it's not only needed here in the Bay Area, but, other states, probably abroad. And, our network could just be so much stronger if this is consistent. And that's why, consistency has been very important for me this year. Like, I don't care what happened with COVID. Like, we were supposed to have our brunch in May, and that's what I think is a highlight event, because we get to, come together, laugh, network, get to know one another. But we just took it online, and we focused on money management and investments and financial knowledge in these times of pandemics. And we had 2 Black women speak to all of that. So, again, creating that space where women feel comfortable, to ask about what they don't know when it comes to money or anything else. And I just want to continue to create those safe spaces. Like, I don't want any boundaries when it comes to what someone can say. And I want them to continue getting that energy once a month or making new connections that last them a lifetime. So
I think connections are key. So thank you for sharing that, that information. All right. This is a great connection. This is a great energy. So we're hitting the 30-minute mark. So we got a little bit of time, to ask a few more questions. So I want to ask one of the most important questions I feel like women of all walks need to really start to invest in. That's self-care. So how do you guys practice self-care, with your movements that you are creating? I think self-care for people have to be at the forefront of their experience here, just walking this earth. I think it's something that, as we're being pulled from our survival brain and we're manifesting things into our thriving brain, in order to be a person who thrives, you have to really be in a thriving, preservative, proactive, rather reactive mindset. But just from, our history and, just pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps and not being able to have access to resources, a lot of people have the mindsets that self-care isn't at the forefront of that. So I wanted to really touch bases on how do you guys practice self-care? And Liku, I'll start with you with that.
I knew you was going to start with we probably talk almost every day about me practicing or not practicing self-care. I don't even know what to say, to be completely honest with you. And that's one way I practice self-care, to try to be honest.
That's right.
I think that's the best way to practice self-care. And I'm picking on you right now publicly.
I knew it.
I'm picking on you, but I think the most important thing that gift that I can give to you is to really just pass down, self-care practices. I think that for me, I resonate a lot with you with, being raised by a strong woman and seeing her, achieve many things on top of being a great mother. And she still is strong, because even when I talk to her, I'd be like, could you calm down? But that also has its place in its time, right? And for you, I think one of the most amazing things that you can do for yourself, because you're already winning and you're not even trying, right? So it's not the grind. I think that what's going to make you hit that next level just happiness, right? It's just you really taking care of yourself, taking time out, really enjoying life, like before you get on that E point, right? And life will happen to you. Okay, so
Trust
listen,
me.
you fine now. You fine, but you gotta preserve all that.
I'm
You
aware
have to preserve.
of all of that. Like, I think self-care requires like a level of, or at least effective self-care, quality self-care requires a level of like awareness and understanding. So I'm aware, like, you know, I do need to incorporate practices of like taking breaks or just, you know, staying to myself. And that's actually what I preach, you know, when we do these tribe events. Like, I put people like you and discussions to the forefront so we can understand how to do these things and put them into practice. But like you also said, you know, the way that we've grown up or how history is embedded in us and certain habits and practices, I think that's where my awareness is right now individually, is actively trying to combat those. Because you know, if
you are one of my strong Black friends, and I have to check on you seriously. And this is for anyone who has a strong friend. Like, you got to reach out to. Chandra is very strong too. She's a leader too. She needs to be checked on too. And you have, I see you posting that about that a lot.
Check on your strong friends. Check on your strong friends, and you know your coaches.
So you definitely have support. So you know, Liku, I got you. You know, you got a lot of people. I got you.
I know.
We all, you know, rock out. And so, yeah, I think that's. But I'm happy that you're putting those things into practice and that you're aware of that. And like, I'm definitely here to continue to motivate you and push you into that self-care space. So, Chandra, same questions for you.
You know, being an entrepreneur, and before even COVID-19 and everything, I was home. I worked from my home, right? And so I will get stuck in front of this laptop all day long. I walk from my bedroom to my laptop, and I will be here from 7 a.m. until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, you know, and take a break to eat and then come back and sit down. So, you know, I was like gaining weight and, you know, just feeling a certain type of way. And I was like, I can't do this, right? This is not good for me. It was good for my business, but it's not good for me. And I run this business, so I need to make sure that I'm okay and I'm healthy and I take care of myself, and I need to be aware of that. So understanding that, you know, I need to go work out, right? I need to go walk. I need to go hike. I need to step away from my laptop and breathe and do, you know, I'm not a meditator. I'm not a kumbaya type of person. I will go take a hike. I'll go take a walk. I will exercise. And that makes me feel good. So I try to make sure I do that. And every time I do, that's where I get my best ideas. Every time I work out, right? It just gets going and you get some great ideas. So I'm like, why don't I do this more often? And also I've noticed that it makes you feel good and motivated. So if you wake up in the morning and work out, it really can set off a whole new type of day for you.
Right.
If you are not completing your goals and doing the things that you want to do for yourself in your life, if you try to start a self practice of working out in the morning, you can really accomplish more, because you're like, you know, you're just feeling a little different and you're feeling better about yourself, and you just get your day going a little bit better, and you start, you know, you just accomplish more. So I noticed that, right? I'm just very more self-aware as I get older and see that that works. So I always encourage my clients to really take care of yourself too at the same time. The hustle is real. I am not even gonna lie. You know, a lot of people say, oh, don't hustle. I don't like to work. You hustle. Well, I've had to hustle. I've had to work hard to get my business to a certain level that it's at right now. I worked late at night from, you know, when I was working, you know, even before I left my full-time job, I would work on my business from 9 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I would dedicate those hours to that. So that was a hustle because I still had to work all throughout the whole day. So I was exhausted. So the hustle is real, but also as you're able to take some time away, finally, you still need to take care of yourself and your family and the things that you have going on. You have to balance it. But a lot of us are stuck too, thinking that it's nonstop, because I still, even though I know this, I know better, I still will work all day long without taking a break. So I have to be intentional about stopping and really saying, it's okay, you can take a break, Chandra. Nobody's going to come steal your business during this time. You can take a break. So just being intentional, but with working out, it's necessary. But I had to see the consequences from it when I didn't do it.
Yeah, and that's part of that balance stage. And I think that we're all coming from different dynamics of the playing field when it comes to that. And you know, I think for me, the biggest lesson I learned about self-care is that sleep is self-care too. And you know, I'm an active person in the gym. Like I love the gym, but in this season, I really had to really force myself to sleep. And it's so crazy because I've been on a go, 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 like you're saying, you know, feeling like I have to make up for lost time. And I really didn't value sleep. And so, you know, this time around, the gym's closed. I'm like, I'm not a runner. I love nature, but then I got to drive to it. You know, it's just a lot of different things that I'm like, dang, okay, I can't practice self care in the manner in which I used to take care of myself. So then I just got into this whole vibe where I was just tired. And then I was like, okay, is something wrong with me? And I'm a praying person. I'm a very, you know, spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
And God was like, nah, you just got to go to bed. You need to value naps. Like,
yeah.
sleep. And I feel like if you do that, then you're not doing enough, right? I feel like that's been on my whole, because I've been a single mother, and that's been my title since I was I was a single mother at 18. So I've been a single
going.
When I was first hit adulthood, I was a mama. And so, you know, sleep what? And so I think that I just naturally started, you know, that became a cycle for me where sleep was like it was something that I got to survive, but not something that I utilized to thrive. And so while I'm switching my brain into that thrive mode, I really value sleep now. And so that's my form of self-care in this season.
Yeah.
I'm not taking rest naps just to like get my life together so I don't have a migraine. I'm taking like naps. You know, I'm putting my kids on schedules to where naps are like something that they gift to me. You know, if for a Mother's Day gift, just give me a nap. You know, just getting them naps in. Seriously, that's our form of self-care.
That's what you got to do.
The most underrated form of self-care. So I'm here. I'm quick to get a nap in. So thank you guys for sharing that, and thank you, Leaky, for being transparent. I appreciate that and allowing me to pick on you. So I got one more question before we go ahead and sign out. So what motivates you about 2020? I know everybody's always talking about the devastation of 2020, but to be honest, it's the best season of my life. Like I know, and I say that with like so much humility because I know that people are out here, you know, losing loved ones and losing jobs and doing things of that nature. But I also got caught up in that too, not feeling like I can celebrate my wins in this season. And I had to get pulled back into that space of like, I worked hard for this. Like, and I just happen to be in a position where mental health right now is more than gold.
Yeah.
So I had to like really fight, you know, you celebrate yourself because you worked so hard to get here. You know, you put yourself in school, you did all these things to get to this point. So celebrate. So what's the best thing about 2020 for you, Chandra, so far?
You know, just like you said, I didn't know what was going to happen, you know, in March when all this went down. I got nervous. I'm not going to lie. I got nervous. I was like, oh, nobody's going to want to join Powerhouse Academy. Nobody's going to want to do anything. But I got 8 women that joined Powerhouse Academy during COVID-19. And, you know, I only enrolled 5 to 8 women at a time. So I got 8, you know, where I thought I didn't think I was going to get 2. But I think a lot of women were like, it's now or never, you know, I got the downtime. I'm at home. This is the time to invest in myself, and I'm going to do Powerhouse Academy. So what's exciting to me is that I knew if I could do it during COVID, then I can do it during any time, right? I can fill up Powerhouse Academy anytime. So what I'm excited about is about the growth and the evolution of what this is going to turn into, because I really want to take it and build it to be where it's like a license, like you could franchise Powerhouse Academy. So that's kind of the direction we're going and growing it, and seeing me more outside of San Jose, California,
right,
expanding the vision outside of there. So I'm excited about that for 2020 and beyond.
That's a great vision.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to see you on the receiving end of that.
Yes, ma'am. You'll be right there with me.
I will be. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Liku? What's the best, thing about 2020 for you that motivates you about 2020?
I had an answer, but I think I'm gonna change it. Fear is kind of what's been motivating me. Like, we're in a season of uncertainty. Like, it's not certain that you're going to keep your job. It's not certain that you're going to be healthy. Like, we're afraid of, losing the stability, and we're going into like a new normal, leaving our old normal and all of that. And there's this fear and uncertainty. And I think that's the best time to act on things is when, you're not feeling that everything is perfect. And now that I'm saying that out loud, it's like, nothing was perfect. Everything was terrible when I started Tribe. So it's like, with this uncertainty, there's also time, which breeds opportunity to do so much. Like, whether you want to start that business or hire that coach, whether you want to get your mental health in order, whether you just needed a break and needed to sit down. And now because you're not, in the office space or at school, you can, take the luxury of time and do that. So I think there's opportunity for so much that people are probably slowly realizing.
Yeah.
And, just taking advantage of that time for me is what I look forward to.
That's awesome. I mean, that's real. Fear will get you there, and a lot of people, they see fear and they see powerlessness, and or they see fear and they see motivation. So it's really just at the core of it, it's still fear. What you do with it, that really is what separates you from the life you want to live and the life you have to live. So thank you for really highlighting that. We're gonna like tap out, but I want to say thank you guys. Do you guys have any last remarks, like for a woman who's watching this, who's like, I got this idea, I'm thinking about starting it, I'm really not sure, and they're thinking about they're in that fear-based mindset. Do you guys have any last wisdom to pass down to them as far as like some key nuggets that they can take away from them?
Ania, I remember after I left it's not really corporate. I work for the union. And I remember a few months after I left, somebody seen me and they said, "You look so happy. You look so rested. You look I look different to them." Right. And I just knew at that moment, I was like, because I'm living in my purpose and I'm happy, I'm happier person when I'm doing what was burning in my gut to do. Right. And I just want to tell somebody just to follow that gut feeling, follow your heart, follow that, don't listen to that intellectual part that's telling you that, that's saying that's scary, don't go that way. Listen to your heart and the passion inside of you that's saying you should be going to do this, you should start this. Listen to that part. Ignore this brain that's telling you it's scary in that direction, because it's going to make you feel better about yourself and you're going to look happier. You're just going to feel happier. And if you want to feel happy, then you need to do what makes you happy, right? You need to do the steps to get you there, right? So just start, just take an action. Take action today, tomorrow, and the next day, something little every day.
Yeah, you really helped me with that too. With like every single time we talk, you're like, and you have to do this by the time we talk next time. And I'm like, okay, my stomach hurts, literally, like my stomach hurt. And but what I even doing this show, this Chandra told me I need to really put a voice out there, and I had a million excuses of why I couldn't do it, but then I thought about COVID-19. Who cares anymore? What am I going off of, and why do I care? Like, I mean, the world is in a national crisis. I mean, I have nothing to lose right now.
Right.
So, I mean, and that's even something. If I can give somebody to take away, is like, who cares? Like, we're in a national crisis. You lost your job, like, probably lost. If you lose your house, you ain't got nowhere to go but up. So why not try to do something different? And sometimes it's a national crisis for people to really, step out on faith. But that's what I'm using that fear for, is like to be relentless about me just not caring anymore. I mean, I can die tomorrow, literally. We don't know in 30 minutes what the president's going to say. So YOLO, seriously. So what about you, Liku?
I'm going to just piggyback off y'all. I mean, I feel like, we're the ones who get in our own way. like we're our only competition. Like everything that we're worried about is external, but at the end of the day, we're the ones who have the power to take that action, you know, the power to make something happen. Like the only people who's stopping us is us. Mm-hmm. So to learn how to get out of our own way and take that action, because like you said, we could die tomorrow. YOLO, like there's no time than now. Just like get out of your own way, like whatever, you know, it's talking about ignore up here, like listen to your heart, like whatever that is in your head, like just ignore it.
Yeah.
No power.
Yeah. No power. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. You know, these conversations are very candid, but I think they're very key. I hope that a lot of women, you know, got, you know, some feedback and some awareness about themselves and how to press forward. But I want to say thank you so much, Liku. Thank you so much, Sandra, for being here. And thank you so much for just being a part of my evolution to revolutionary healing. So
no, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I love what you guys always support it.
Okay. All right. Well, till next time, Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate the love. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.